Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first Locker Room Report of 2024. I'm Brady Beedon, joined by head coach Tyrone Wheatley. Coach, before we get into Tiffin, before we get into everything else, a lot of time has passed since we've last talked. It's been an offseason, and especially in the new age college football, there's a lot of turnover. So let's start at the end of last season. A lot of guys came in, a lot of guys came out. How do you feel the offseason went as a whole overall?
I really like the offseason. I think it went really well. Some objectives we wanted to start out was get our type of football players, and what is that? The physical discipline and just football player. You know, a lot of times people are looking at athletes, and a lot of the athletes don't want to do some of the hard things, or pay some of the price that they really want to play. So we just wanted some rugged guys, some disciplined guys that came from some really good programs that understand what it means to be, on time, disciplined, the grit, the grime, So those are the guys we went after, and we got a lot of them.
So, with the whole transfer portal, the new era, I mean, again, it's rapidly changing. How do you approach it? Because I know some programs like to go, hey, we'll build within, or we won't use the portal at all. Some like to fill some holes. You got a lot of new faces. Basically, half the roster's new to Wayne State. So, was that just a product of you being in your first year and trying to get the guys you need in, or is that something that, hey, it's the new age, every year's a brand new year?
Well, it's the war of attrition. You would like – I know a lot of people have really good success in the portal, and it has its place. But we here at Wayne State academically, we just can't take any and everybody, right? So the guys, they have to be able to get in here academically, but then at the same time, have the type of discipline to be disciplined on top of academics and be football, right? So we try and do, like you said, do a little bit of both. Supplement the high school guys with some of the transfer portal guys. And to be truthfully honest, I'm a grassroots guy, meaning I like to go high school because those guys have the equity as opposed to being just transitional.
So last year you had some of those young guys step up that were here. Season didn't go maybe the way you wanted in the terms of wins and losses, but I thought there was a little bit of a shining light with some young guys at the end of the season. A lot of those guys are back. Let's talk about some of those guys you hope take that next step and become, cornerstones for your program here at Wayne State.
Well, yeah, let's start off on defense. Anthony Walk, cornerback, coming in. He played as a true freshman. He was a guy who really, really, as you say, grow up. You saw him grow in front of our eyes right on the field. He made some rookie mistakes, but those mistakes really helped him grow. The next guy who didn't play last year at the cornerback spot, but he was on the team, Kewan Houston, looking for really good things for them. So, as you call the guys on the back end, returning guy, but Elijah Folks, who got hurt, had a season-ending injury and has some personal things, but he's back really looking for his leadership. And then you talk about another young guy. I just really like this guy, Kobe Horn and Jordan Acker, right? These two guys have put the body armor on, did what it took in the offseason. I mean, when you talk about football players and being bought in and making this thing a lifestyle, I mean, these guys, they've really, truly done it. And so I'm looking for those on the defensive side of the ball, those young men to really, truly step it up and get going.
Talking with Wayne State head coach Tyrone Wheatley. And, Coach, we talked about the players taking that next step. But for you and your coaching staff, it was the first year here, too, and there's a little bit of an adjustment for that as well. Now that it's the second go-around, you've had a full offseason, you retained your whole staff. How much does that help going into year two, that everything's settled, you don't have to worry about half your staff moving from Georgia up here, they get to focus all on football? How much is that going to help here in 2024?
Well, you know what, not to make any excuses for last year, none of that stuff was an excuse, right? It is what it is. We've been in this coaching profession. We know what it takes. And so to say there was an adjustment, it wasn't, right? But it is good to go into the next year seeing what happened last year, some of the things we have to take care of, like you say, the holes we have to plug. I think that's what you really have to go through. You have to go through the minutia and the BS of the call it BS, but you know what I mean, to go through all the stuff that you have to go through that first year to finally figure it out and say, hey, this is what we need to replace. We're lacking here, and we have to, fill the holes there. So I think that first year was really good for us to go through it.
Let's talk about week one. You're coming down to a Tiffin program that over the last handful of years has kind of established themselves as a pretty good program. And at one point, it wasn't that way. Kind of a mirror image of Wayne State in a way where for a while they were a team that everyone thought, ooh, yeah, we got Tiffin on the schedule. Now not the same. What can you tell everyone about the Dragons?
Well, coming off 11-1 season last year, they're returning. Kind of like us. They're going into a new year with a new head coach. He's bringing some new guys in, but he's retaining pretty much the core of that team. And like you said, that team is rolling. Like, it's a physical team. Once in the GLIAC, so they understand the physicality of the team. The coach is coming from Saginaw, so he beat us last year. So he has a pretty good, dial on us and what we're, who we are and what we're about. So this is not a team that we can take lightly. Like, we are going to have to play a really good, sound, fundamental game. They're going to be physical. They're going to be disciplined. They're going to be where they're supposed to be. And plus, we're going there and we're playing at 6 o'clock, home opener. It's for football fans, it's going to be a great atmosphere. But for us, it's one of those deals where we're going in the Lions' Den.
All right, let's talk about a keys to a Warrior victory.
Well, once again, have to play sound football. Limit the mistakes. You're going to make them, but you have to limit them, and they cannot capitalize on those, right? And what I mean by play the game is just don't try to make plays, just play the game and allow them to come. When the opportunity presents itself, you must take the opportunity. When you're out there and you're pressing and you're trying to do too much, that's when bad things happen. And then really, at the end of the day, as we all say, no turnovers, right? Take the ball away and don't give the ball away. Punt it when you have to, kick it when you have to, and you'll come out hopefully victorious.
Coach, I appreciate it. Good luck in your opener down at Tiffin.
Thank you very much.
He's head coach Tyrone Wheatley. I'm Brady Beedon, and we'll be back with more right after this here on WDTK The Patriot.